Hello, this is Daniel Mart, and today I'm going to be doing another review. This one's going to be for Selma. So yeah, apparently I didn't know this prior, but this is the first movie based on Martin Luther King. That's not a documentary, first off. That has been released in theaters. So yeah, first non-documentary film of Martin Luther King. That's basically the first biopic of Martin Luther King that's been released in theaters. So yeah, okay, but aside from the point, so yeah, this movie stars David Oyelowo. Hopefully I said that right. Carmen Ejogo, yeah, Carmen Ejogo, Oprah Winfrey, Tom Wilkinson, Giovanni Ribisi, Andre Holland, Ruben Santiago Hudson, Coleman Domingo, Omar J. Dorsey, Teresa Thompson, Common, the rapper Common, it stars him as well. Lorraine Toussaint, I believe they said that right. Dylan Baker, E. Roger Mitchell, David Dwyer, David Morzot, Ken Falcon, and Wendell Pierce, and Stephen James, and Keith Stanfield, and yeah, who else is here that's actually important? Nago Tanch portrays Malcolm X for a couple minutes. You also have Tim Roth, and yeah, that's basically it. Um, yeah. So yeah, lately this movie has sparked up a lot of controversy, and this is a movie I've been wanting to see because of the topic, Martin Luther King. But it sparked up a lot of controversy, because of the recent Oscar announcements. Because it was nominated for Best Picture, and then Best Picture, Selma, and then it was nominated for Best Original Song, which is Glory, sung by Common, who is an actor in the movie as well. But many people think that David Oyelowo should have been nominated for Best Oscar, as well as the fact that the director, Ava DuVernay, I believe is how you say her name, should have been nominated for Best Director. And there's a lot of controversy out of that recently, and I've been wanting to see this film. And yeah, for me, the 2014-2015 Oscars are filled with fucking controversies. From the Lego movie to Selma to Foxcatcher, Gone Girl, and everything in between. So yeah, before I get into the actual review, though, 10-second spoiler warning as usual for those who have yet to actually watch the movie and haven't already. Stop the video, go check it out, and come back here and watch the rest of this video. 10-second spoiler warning as usual, starting now. Okay, so 10 seconds are up. So for those who have yet to actually watch the movie and haven't already, please don't comment down below or be messaging me that never gave you a fair warning, because as usual, I did. So yeah, as usual, quick synopsis, likes and dislikes, and then the rate. So yeah, basically, Selma, it's basically the basically a biopic of Martin Luther King, and basically how he's basically he's trying to approve he's trying to approve the March to Washington. It's basically that whole thing. And you see all the beatings, people from the trailers, you saw people getting beat up on the bridges. I forgot the name of the bridge. But you see people getting beat and all of that. So I've really been wanting to see this movie. So yeah, Glory, the song, the original song. Yeah, basically that's the synopsis. Yeah, basically Martin Luther King's last year and him trying to get approved the March to Washington, basically, among some other things, voting rights and other things. But that was the main focus on it. The song Glory, it's actually it's a great song in my opinion, and does deserve the nomination for Best Original Score. For original song, it really does deserve that, and it's a pretty good score. Common, I've never actually heard any of his music, to be honest, which is kind of weird because I actually like rap and hip hop a lot. I like Eminem, Tupac, I know Pitbull. To be fair, I am a bit Latin, so Pitbull, Jay-Z, Kanye. I do like the hip hop and rap field a lot. With Tupac and Eminem probably being my favorite rappers. So I'm kind of surprised I haven't actually heard of. I've heard of Common, I just never heard his music. But after hearing Glory, the song, I kind of want to hear more of his music. may need to talk to my friend on that one because I know one of my friends is a huge fan of Common. So yeah, I may need to talk to my friend on that one. And yeah, Common, he's actually a pretty good actor. I've never actually seen him, and apparently from what I've seen, he's apparently in the movie Now You See Me. I didn't even realize he was in that movie. Didn't even, yeah, he was. So yeah, I mean that movie was pretty good. He was also in movie 43, which movie 43 I know sucked, and most of the actors were basically guilted into going to that movie. So he's been around actually. He's done a few things. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think he actually did the score for Now You See Me. I don't think he was actually the actor, but you know, I think yeah. So he's been acting, but I think this is his standout role in my opinion. So yeah, but you know, Common, I just wanted to side note, not the actual standout. For Common, this is probably his one of the films he's gonna be recognized for. But speaking about being recognized, oh my gosh, David Oyelowo, oh my gosh, yeah, he was snubbed. Oh, yeah, this movie was snubbed like a fucker. Yeah, there's many movies that have been snubbed like a fucker this year. Lego Movie, Gone Girl, Foxcatcher, Selma. They've all been snubbed like a fucker. Yeah, and I mean, it's just something I say. I don't know why, but um, God, but it got snubbed. Oh my gosh, David whoa, no, his last name, no, whatever. He's an incredible actor in my opinion. I believe he was in another movie this year. I believe I forget which movie. He was in Interstellar this year, and he was in Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Jack Reacher as well a couple years ago. So he's done some stuff, and he was also in The Butler, Lincoln. So he's been around the political movies around a lot, and the fact that he took on this role is just incredible. When you see David Oyelowo as Martin Luther King, you believe it. He does an incredible job. And yeah, and one thing that I found really surprising is that apparently they couldn't use any of the speeches that Martin Luther King actually did. For example, the "I Have a Dream" speech, probably one of the most recognizable Martin Luther King speeches ever. They couldn't use it because of rights and copyright issues, which I actually wanted to hear David Oyelowo say the "I Have a Dream" speech. I have a dream that something like that, all little black boys and white girls or something like that. I don't know how it goes, but it goes something very like that, and I really want him to say that, but due to rights, I understand, but I really want him to say that because I think that would have completed. I mean, because it was an incredible job. I think that would have completed the movie. I understand the rights and issues and all that, but I think for Selma, the one thing that was missing was the "I Have a Dream" speech at the end. That's all I wanted to see at the end. The "I Have a Dream" speech. So yeah, I mean, overall, pretty great movie. So yeah, I mean, some of the other actors, Carmen Ojogo, whatever her name is. Some of the other actors and actresses. Giovanni Ribisi, Tom Wilkinson. They were also pretty great in their roles. I did wish they could have done a little bit better, in my opinion, because there were a few parts where the acting could have been improved. That's a minor detail, minor complaint. Aside from the lack of the "I Have a Dream" speech, the acting I do think could have been improved in some aspects a little bit. And yeah, the guy, Lyndon B. Johnson, played by Tom Wilkinson, and J. Edgar Hoover, yeah, and J. Edgar Hoover played by who played J. Edgar Hoover, Dylan Baker, Dylan Barker, whatever. They did a pretty great job. They wrote both of those characters as douchebags. Well, not douchebags per se, but like political douchebags or political scumbags. And apparently, I do think they portrayed the role pretty well. And for me, Lyndon B. Johnson, he's a character that nobody really gives a shit about, including myself. When you really think of it, nobody really gives a shit about Lyndon B. Johnson. We care about Kennedy, then we go to Lyndon B. Johnson, and even after that, there's a lot of conspiracies with Lyndon B. Johnson possibly having been a hand in killing Kennedy. So yeah, I mean, in the end, nobody really gave a shit about Johnson. But in this movie, you kind of do give some kind of shit about Johnson, Lyndon B. Johnson, and they do the role pretty good. And overall, the acting was incredible. It was incredible in my opinion. There were a few times where it could have been improved in my opinion. So, yeah, the directing by Ava DuVernay. Again, she was snubbed for this year. I do think she deserved the nomination for Best Director. But then again, there were also many directors who could have they taken out. Maybe the guy for Foxcatcher. I mean, even though that was a great movie, for me it would have been between this one or Foxcatcher. So yeah, I mean, even after that, Foxcatcher also itself was kind of in a way snubbed like a fucker as well. So yeah. I mean, overall, it was a pretty great film. The writing was also pretty great. Because they have to make up also new speeches right now on the fly. They have to make up new speeches since they can't use any of the original ones, and the new speeches sound like almost as if Martin Luther King did say them himself. So overall, it's a pretty great movie. Very well acted, very well written. Very well directed. The score, "Glory" by Common, that was a pretty great song. I really want to hear it again. Overall, it was just a really great movie. Just the acting at just a few points, I do think could have been improved, but that was maybe 3 or 4 times in my opinion. And I just really wanted to hear the "I Have a Dream" speech, in my opinion. And I really, honestly, the "I Have a Dream" speech, if they could have used that, I would have been happy. Even if David Oyelowo would have said, "I have a dream" or whatever, if they would have said somewhere at the end, the "I have a dream" speech or whatever, I would have been completely happy. Really, that's my one complaint, that they don't have the "I Have a Dream" speech, and I really wanted to hear the "I Have a Dream" speech from David Oyelowo. So yeah, I really do think that Selma got snubbed like a goddamn fucker. Yeah, it does deserve the Best Picture nomination. It does deserve the nomination for Best Original Song, but it also does deserve a nomination for Best Directing and Best Actor in the Leading Role. So yeah, I mean, overall, it was a pretty great movie. And yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, and 6 being decent, I'd have to give it an 8.5 out of 8.5 out of 10. Really, I'd give it a 9.5 if it wasn't for the lack of "I Have a Dream" speech. I cannot, I mean, I understand all, but I think that's the one thing I think that's kind of unforgivable in my opinion. The "I Have a Dream" speech isn't there, or even mentioned at once. Kind of unforgivable in my opinion, especially when you're talking about Martin Luther King. But whatever. So yeah, 8.5 out of 10 would be 9.5 if it were for the "I Have a Dream" speech. And that's basically it for now. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, and comic book reviews. So definitely do stay tuned for that. Aside from that, comment down below on your thoughts on the movie. And yeah, like the video, share on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, or whatever you guys prefer. And what are your thoughts on the fact that Selma has been snubbed like a fucker this year, and the "I Have a Dream" speech not being included in this movie? And yeah, that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.